I'm trying to give this YouTube thing a proper go. And so I've been on a mission to get better footage in my workshop. But to do that, I need more than just a better camera. I need this. You don't really realize until you start making videos solo how hard it can be to get your camera in the right place. Tripod legs get in the way, monopods are too unstable, and lots of the off-the-shelf camera arms are not strong enough to hold a medium-sized mirrorless, let alone adding a cage, sled, batteries, and mic. I've long admired DIY projects like Alex Chappelle's amazing $10,000 camera arm. Sorry, Alex, if I just butchered your name. But even that DIY build is beyond my budget when you take into account the materials and filament required. So it seemed like I'd just have to make do with a tripod, until I discovered that one of my favorite YouTubers had already solved my problem in a video 4 years ago. In an early video, Morley Kert took inspiration from the already amazing WOBY jig designed by Ben at WOBY Design and made a 3D printable camera arm. Now, I could have just built the actual WOBY jig. I have a CNC, I have saws, I have everything I could possibly need. But filament is way cheaper than plywood here in New Zealand, and honestly, times are tight. Now, Morley's files are all available for free on his website, but there's just one catch for me. All the hardware is in imperial sizes. But it's not a huge problem, it just means that I needed to take all of the files into Fusion and convert everything I can to be compatible with metric hardware, which is far more readily available in New Zealand. But I took it one step further. Morley's camera arm used printed threads, which worked great, and he even proves how well they hold up in the video. But since I already had to make changes, and Morley's printers are probably better dialed in than mine, I decided to make my version use nylon locking nuts for extra strength and stability. For the rest, I just tried to match Morley's component list as best I could, or so I thought. I'll be making all of the files I created and modified for this video available for free and linked down in the description below, so that if you live in a metric-friendly country and want to build one, you can do this for yourself. I'll also link both Morley's version for Imperial hardware and Ben's original WOBY jig if you want to make one out of plywood. So with all that out of the way, let's get into the build. I want to be able to position my rig anywhere in the workshop, so I'm going to build a cart. The cart's going to have a bunch of weight at the bottom and a vertical pole that the jig can move up and down on. For some reason I decided to start this build at the end of my workday, and I didn't feel like building a box, so I just used this old box I had lying around. You guys know I love to reuse stuff. This box is going to get filled with concrete with the pole set inside. All of these screws and bent nails provide geometry for the concrete to grab onto. If you watched my last video with the homemade dust collector, you know that I'm trying to make my workshop builds look a little less janky so they don't take as much visual space. A coat of paint helps unify all of these materials, and it means it blends into the background when it's in my eyeline. I couldn't get the exact 3/4 inch pole that Morley's build list called for, but I could get 19mm, which is more than close enough with only 0.05mm difference. I 3D printed this mount to hold the pole in place until the concrete gets poured. It broke almost instantly when I pulled the pole out to install the concrete anchors in the pole, but it's nothing a bit of super glue doesn't fix. I did try to paint the pole because I thought it would look cool, but you'll see this ended up being pointless. This is maybe the third time I've used concrete, and I know I'm not very good at mixing it, so if you're out there watching this and getting frustrated, that's fair. I hear you. I wanted a mount to hold a bracing bar in place. The bracing bar would be braced to the pole to add more stability. The bracing bar is also going to act as the handle to move it around the shop, so I wanted a smooth section for handling. 3D printed braces will hold the bar and the pole together, one at the bottom and one at the top. The bottom brace fit was too tight, so I used an offcut of the pole and some heat to help size the brace to the pole. While all of this was going on, the 3D printers had been running non-stop. In altering the models, I deleted the imperial threads and redesigned them to accept M8 nylon locking nuts. I couldn't get button head bolts like Morley specified in M8 locally, so instead I used hex head bolts. The hex heads were too big for the original recesses, so these washers moved them to the outside surface. This meant I also purchased slightly longer bolts to account for the extra depth. All of the orange parts are printed from PETG as per Morley's instructions, and the washers are just printed from PLA. I've added an extra section to my arm so that I can get even more reach. I just had to print an extra set of the middle section and an extra set of arms. I designed and 3D printed an adapter so the pole would actually fit. Wait, why did I need an adapter if I followed Morley's instructions for this? So yeah, open shopping links, guys. Anyway, the adapter just slots in and holds in place with the tension of the bolts. This is the top brace. It's a much tighter fit intentionally this time. Hey, sorry to interrupt. Just one moment while I tell you, it would be great if you liked this video and subscribe to my channel. Okay, I'll be honest, this shot looked cooler in my head, but I guess there's kind of a cool symbolism to it. Transitioning from one phase of filming to another. I like it anyway. So what would I do differently if I made this again? Well, for one thing, I'd use the right size pipe. This is fine, it's gonna work for what I need, but the proper size pipe would obviously be more sturdy, possibly wouldn't even need the bracing bar. On the subject of the bracing bar, this is just a 30 by 30 pine. It's actually not very stable. What I really wanted was Quila, which is like a decking timber that we use here in New Zealand. I've used it for a lot of framing stuff because it's super stiff, but I couldn't get it in the length that I needed without spending quite a bit of money to get like 6 meters of it, like quite a bit of money. At some point I may change the wheels. It's fine, it rolls, but it's a little bit hard to position precisely at the moment. They're all swivel wheels at the moment, but I may need to change the combination to like 2 straight wheels and 2 swivel wheels just to change the positioning. The last thing seems like it would be a real problem, but is actually really easy to fix. So when we look at the camera arm, you can actually see that when it wobbles, these arms are actually flexing side to side. And honestly, that's just because of the PETG. So PETG is quite flexible. It's good for the sliding motion that we need in the joints, but it's not stiff. So if I was making this again, I would just reprint these arms in a stiffer material, maybe a carbon fiber PETG, probably carbon fiber anything to be honest. But that's actually something that I can fix and will fix at some point. But all of these are actually minor things. As it is right now, this is better than any tripod or any other mounting system that I've used in the workshop. I can position it wherever I want. Yes, it has a bit of wobble, but who cares? The wobble stops and then you set the shot. It's not that hard. This is amazing and is going to change the way that I shoot in the workshop. I'm really excited about it. I hope you are too. If you end up building one of these for yourself, I'd love to hear about it down in the comments below. But that's it, we're done. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it entertaining, maybe even learned something. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. We're going to go for a few shots. Oh, I gotta fix my hand first. What?
This is being recorded anyway.